Hello, hello. How you doing? Hey, hey. I'm just doing my little tags. How's everybody feeling? Hey, Jay. How's it going? Welcome to the 6th episode of Art Talk Tuesday. I'll turn this down a bit. So today we are going to have a special guest. His name he goes by on Instagram, Buskyat, but he's also known as for Buzz. Bulsby Duncan, he's an abstract expressionist. So just in a moment, we're going to have him come up. We're letting a few people come on in, and we should get him up here in just a moment. A few things about him. He is originally from Jamaica, and he was raised here in DC. He's an abstract expressionist, and he favors some of Basquiat's pieces. Give us just a moment. We're just waiting for him to come on in. In the meantime, vibe out to some Solange. Happy Black Woman History Month. I'll call it's Women's History Month, but Woman History Month. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm all tongue twisted today. Just waiting for Buzz to come on in. How's everybody going? How you guys feeling? The weather's finally starting to feel nice. It's feeling great. All right, let's see. Let's give us just a few moments. Are you guys excited for March Madness? I'm sure there's a lot of stuff happening. Finally ready for that weather to break for us. So just give us a moment. Just gonna put some nice vibes in the air in the meantime as we wait. You guys feeling good? I hope y'all are feeling good. I'm feeling great. I'll just play a little bit of music in the meantime. Okay, there we go. So we got him coming up now. Awesome. All right. All right, we're just waiting him to come up in a moment.
Trust.
Oh, there we go. Hey.
What's up, love?
What's up? What's going on?
I'm trying to figure out how to do this live stuff.
I know, technology at its finest. It's all good.
Over there pressing the wrong damn button.
How's it going? How's your Tuesday?
Huh?
How's your Tuesday?
Oh, Tuesday, good. It's good.
Awesome. All right. Well, you all, this is Buzz, our abstract expressionist. Would you like to give yourself a quick introduction? I kind of gave him a little bit. I told him that you were self-taught and you were born in Jamaica and you were raised here in DC. Of course, an abstract expressionist. So do you want to dive into yourself a bit?
Oh, no, you pretty much did it. I'm simple.
Oh, yeah. Awesome. Great. Well, let's get into these questions. How about it?
Yeah, all right, yeah. You know, people that's what the internet is about. They like to know stuff.
You know what I'm saying? I like to know stuff. So, I know that people like to know stuff. So, first of all, let's talk about this Basquiat. I love the Basquiat, I should say. I love your name. Where did you, obviously playing off of Basquiat, but how did you kind of I see where you're inspired, but do you want to talk about that a bit?
Well, pretty much the brand is, if you see I'm wearing it, Buzz Art.
Yes.
24/7 all day.
Of course.
Like Buzz, if you look at it, it's Buzz Arts. But Basquiat, he got the QUI in the middle of his name. put that in the middle of my name, and it became Bulsby Art.
Oh yeah, I love that.
His letters and added it to my name, and then it just blends. So it's
Yeah,
just
I like it. I like the way it flows. It's really nice. It's really catchy too.
yeah. That's why I put on my hoodie.
Well,
Uh,
what?
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No.
Sorry. What inspired you to begin painting in the first place? I mean, your paintings are amazing. We can definitely tell that there's some Basquiat influence and some other kind of classical influences in there too. So, like, what inspired you to begin your art process?
Um, Pretty much just watching like on Sundays. You know how you get the Sunday Post, the comics and everything. I don't think I
Mm-hmm.
get that no more in the mail, but my cousin can draw real good. He can draw like like an engineer, like detail. And I would sit there every Sunday in the kitchen with him, and that's pretty much how it just really sparked. And kind of like Charlie Brown, starting with that. That kind of got me going to comics.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I knew I could draw, but I never really took it serious early because I feel like I can draw. Back in the day, I used to draw a lot of stuff, and the teachers would take it home and keep it. So,
Oh, nice.
like, yeah, you passed. I'd be like, where is it? Oh, it's over my fireplace. I'd be like, oh, okay, thanks.
Were
So,
you? Oh, go
but
ahead. Were you one of the people to like doodle on the corner of your assignments and stuff? I know I used to.
doodle on the desk, right, right on the desk itself. That's why I went to summer school every year. And
I love it. Oh, awesome. So first you started drawing, and then when did painting kind of come into play? Like when did you kind of get into this? Let me throw a little bit of,
I think
brush and canvas.
yeah, I think the painting actually came later. That's why, like, if you ever see me sign anything and I put 20XX,
Mm-hmm.
that's like the year 2000 when I really got into painting. And that's why the 20XX represent that. Anytime you see me sign something or graffiti something with 20XX in it, that's what that pretty much stands for. Like
Okay.
beginning, but like how Malcolm X had the X meaning unknown, so I don't.
Mm-hmm.
So we never know what the unknown ending is going to be with art. Hopefully it never ends, but at least leave your thumbprint.
Yeah, I love that. That's exciting. We getting a little sneak peeks about your pieces, so we go back in later on in the year. We can be like, okay, well, we gonna decode this.
That's
We
right.
decoded that. I love that. Okay. What are some artists that have influenced your style and techniques other than the obvious
Yeah,
Basquiat's?
obviously Basquiat off the break, but I kind of like some black artists like Sam Gilliam. I like that line work that he do, some of that drapery that he does.
Mm-hmm.
Like Moreau with his abstract, look like he might was on PCP or something when he was doing stuff, but that stuff kind of got to me. And I like Jackson Pollock with just the action movement where you just let the paint come to life naturally without even trying to create something. And,
Awesome.
and of course, street artists that do graffiti work. I like that, like Banksy, so
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. So
Do you get into I had a old teacher from high school that would say that there are different types of artists. There's like wrist artists that kind of stay in this motion, and arm artists, and then they have, you know, full body artists. What kind of artist do you think of yourself as? Do you think you kind of work in this kind of shoulder and arm length, or you kind of like to move the whole body?
well, it might just depend on the size of the canvas.
Oh yeah, that's true, very true.
Yeah, so basic canvas is just more like shoulder movement and so forth. Sometimes I lay the canvas flat on the floor, depending what kind of feel I'm trying to go for. But it just depends on the size. I think, of course, you got a bigger canvas. You got like a 7-foot canvas or something. You could like dance with it and really get crazy with it. So hopefully that'll be like the move in the future to be doing some, larger scale projects.
Do you are you inspired to go into like the mural industry or in the mural business, or do you like canvas a lot better?
Canvas is good with me. I would like to do a mural so I can leave my mark somewhere. This big old bumblebee need to be on somebody's wall.
Oh
So,
yeah.
so that's pretty much it. I would like to do a mural to say I've done one and just have
Hmm.
as a resume type thing. So at least I have an understanding of how to scale and the technical side of it. But that's it.
Okay, awesome. That's really cool. So that's kind of like how you got into this expressionism, kind of abstract mode, kind of feeling free and just letting your thoughts flow. I've read in a few of your other interviews that you really like to kind of express the time. You think that's very important, of documenting the time and
Right.
also just allowing people to express yourself and having a conversation about your work. Did you want to talk a bit about that? Why those things are important?
Yeah, I think like as artists, you know, you're a creator too. We
Yeah.
all want to capture, you know, the art is about capturing that moment. And, you know, from like years from now, if someone look at that work, they can be like, hey, kind of like, you know, with the DMV League, how they did the murals during the protests and stuff. So 20 years or 30 years from now, people look back at that stuff and be like, oh, that's when they had that going on, and at the, you know, various things were happening. So I look at artwork and it's like a timeline, like a time capsule.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
time capsule. And it tells it in the one picture can tell 1,000 stories.
Yes, yeah, that is absolutely right. I definitely am a big fan of storytelling, especially in your work. I feel like I noticed that in one of your interviews, like you talked about having conversation. And I think it's really important as artists to make sure that our piece has people engage in conversation. I'm personally oftentimes like when the art kind of upsets people a little bit and then also kind of like has other people that defend it, and then they can have that kind of like dialogue and make the work kind of live more. Do you think that that's kind of something that you aspire to do?
I always said one thing, like with my work, if it don't stir up some conversation, I must say do something right. So I don't care if you don't like it. If you say, man, I'm not feeling these colors, or I'm just not connecting to it, it did something for you to get upset. So that's the main purpose. I feel like if I can create some sort of dialogue, I accomplish my task. You know, with most of the work, I would say.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's the primary part of it. If you walk past it and just look and kept walking, it couldn't even stop you to even give a negative remark. Something, something ain't,
Something's not right.
something ain't right.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of subject matters do you often talk about to kind of provoke these feelings and emotions out of people?
I
What
think
are like your favorite subject matters, I should
I,
say?
I think like half the time when I paint, I don't even know what I'm going to do. I
Yeah.
I'll play some music, you know, get some Hennessy or something, and then the creativity just hit me like that. Because sometimes I don't even pre-plan like some of the colors I'm gonna use. I just grab any damn colors that get in my hand and I just go from there. But most of the time, if when I've done like series of work, there was a theme. Like during the Trayvon Martin, Eric Gardner, and all those situations, I did do some things to that. Where I think I painted maybe 12 paintings in 2 weeks. I was
Mm.
like in a zone. I think I must have had carpal tunnel or something when I was, but I was in the zone with that. So sometimes that kind of moment hits me. So I did one piece. I never got a chance to display it. Hopefully, when we have the availability to do a show or something, or hopefully, you know, we got our own little hub that we working on, so I could display it there. And it's a piece where it was to encompass the entire Black Lives Movement thing, where I got a dude standing in the middle, and he got two guns to his head, one on each side. So one gun represent the police, and the other gun represent the media. So,
Mm.
and then it just go on, and I won't tell too much about it. I'd rather just show it. And I know that's going to stir up some people, so
Mm-hmm.
great. So,
Let's talk about social media on the it's funny, we're on social media and you do talk about social media a lot in your work. So what is there beef, like, or is this like what are your thoughts when it comes to social media, especially with art, like how it can promote and also how it can harm? Because you definitely kind of make a statement of get out your phone and having phones in the hand and recording of police brutality and other things. So like, what's the thing with social media and you? What's going on there?
you know, I joke around with people, and you know, when they had their cameras and their phones and always taking pictures of themselves and food and stuff like that, I'd be like, y'all, you must not be that hungry if you care to take pictures of food. You must not be that. Uh, it's two sides to social media. You know, you can use it, like you say, to do good and capture moments or record events or connect with other people from, you know, you probably would never have a chance to connect with. due to social media. And then I feel like sometimes some people just get absorbed like a sponge with social media. And I'm like, that's just too much. But it's pros and cons to it, but it's here. We using it right now to do this. And, hopefully the people that's watching and listening and tuning in and enjoying it so far. So,
yeah. By the way, you guys, since we're bringing up social media topics, if you have any questions, make sure that you go down there next to your comment box. You'll see a question mark. Click on that, and you'll be able to send me some questions. And at the end, we'll get those answered for you, okay? All right. Now, let's talk about some of your roots. You were raised in D.C., but you were born in Jamaica. So how is it to be, would you consider yourself like a Caribbean American artist?
well,
Just
roots here in D.C., the birth certificate say Jamaica. But, like, I came up here young, and as so when people say, "Hey, you don't even sound Jamaican," but, when they around my folks, they'd be like, "Damn, they Jamaican." So, like, for me, I grew up in the city, I got the roots of, from home, but I can't say, like, I grew up down there, to really experience, like, going to school. And here you get a sample of it, of, like, the dance hall parties and so forth, and the food and the culture that way. But I think, just the influence of the Jamaican culture is in me because, if Jamaicans, we like color. We like bright color. And, I think we have our own flavor, our own style. So I think in my work, that energy is in that work through the color, the bright colors I use, and, the boldness of it. And, and the personality of a Jamaican, you don't know too many quiet Jamaicans.
Yeah.
All the time. Boop, 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 boop. So all that's kind of like, detailing the work. So it's part of the culture. I haven't really gotten to some stuff to where I like, kind of paint and say, yeah, this painting kind of reflects the culture of like what's going on down there and bringing that up here. But it's just, I use the colors and the energy is always in the work. And I feel like that part of it is that connection from back home to here. So.
Yeah, I can completely understand. I'm not really close to my Caribbean roots as well, but I have some Bajan in me, and I always like feel very close to water and colors and music and dancing and food and just culture. It really does influence.
I know you had that Bajan in you.
Just a little bit. A little bit more than a little bit, but.
Right.
What about being an artist in DC? How is that? I feel like DC art scene is very political driven, which of course your work still has that push in it as well. But what is it like to be a DC artist in terms of showing and creating and just like we keep talking about the energy and the vibe of everything? Like, how do you incorporate the city into your work?
I think, being a DC artist, DC, we got our own flavor anyway, our artwork, like I said, my work encompasses so much to where I kind of like fly under the radar, like, because you wouldn't even know looking at my work, like, where's he from? Like, you can't tell me from DC, Maryland, Jamaica, nowhere. So I kind of like a chameleon, I blend in. But I feel like, the culture, the music, all that, because I feed off of energy. I feel like universal energy is what moves us, from color, pattern, sound, rhythm, taste, food, all that stuff is encompassed in the work that we do. So it's like, you might not see like no layouts of the city in my work. You might see some, it depends on the work. Like I might drop the Capitol, like little layout of the cityscape or something like that. But it just depends on my vibe. It might be in an abstract way. You might be like, yeah, that's the Capitol, even though it's turned upside down. But that's
we gotta show a little love.
So that's how that goes.
Awesome. Yeah, because DC culture has definitely changed my view when it comes to art and politics and combining the two, especially with Black Lives Matter.
Right.
And other subject matters. Now, let's see. It looks like you've been in a few shows. So you had about 2 solo shows, right?
Yeah, I did the joint. I participated in the Harlem Fine Arts, I did a solo show at the Agora Gallery in New York, in Manhattan. Did a solo show, my own joint down in Georgetown at Addison and Ripley Gallery, which is a well-known gallery down in Georgetown.
Mm-hmm.
And some other little stuff just on my own. This is before, you know, I teamed up with the Justice League.
Right. Trying to be the Avengers, Team Marvel.
Right.
Well, how is that? How is it putting together a show or being a part of a show? Because I know a lot of goals for a lot of artists are to get these solo shows and get into these galleries and these museums, and especially now that we have, you know, our African American museum, which is like amazing. Hopefully, one day we can have an African American art museum.
Yeah.
But how is it to be in those shows? Like, that must have been like a dream come true. Like, when, I don't know what age you started art, but that had to be like a childhood, like I did it. Like, how was that? Like, how is that putting it together? Like, is it stressful, or is it just fun because you're just putting the art out there? Or
I think doing the art, you know, that like the one I did in New York, I always wanted to do an art show in New York, and I was able to find a place. And they would, it takes finance, right? So they ain't letting you walk up in there for free. So, but it worked out for me doing it, and because it's all about the experience and the network too. So I think like in the beginning, trying to do art shows, you know, boy, I heard so many no's. I thought my name was No. So like, I thought my name was Buzz, but. So, but, you know, I had to just take it a different approach, like a bulldog, and be like, yo, how much you going to charge me to do something here? And, you know, once the money talked, the shows came. So I just had to like sacrifice and put some bread to the side and say, hey, this is what I want to do. And, you know, do a show, not flood it too much to where, you know, have something where people who missed the first show, the anticipation will be there for the next show. So if you're doing them like back to back to back, it'd be like, oh, he'll doing another one next month. But we'd be like, man, the next show is in 4 months. And he'd be like, oh, damn, I missed the first one. I got to
get to this one.
So that's pretty much the approach I take in doing it. It might not work for everybody else, but so far it worked for me.
Works for you. I mean, but that's what it's all about. It's about finding your own rhythm and your own beat to your own drum to make it in this world. Because if we were all just trying to copycat, you know, then we'd just be Prince.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We'd be computers. So, yeah. What age did you start painting? I kind of mentioned it before, but I think
I was painting like in elementary school, like about fifth grade. I had an art teacher who kind of asked me to paint like cherry blossoms, and she was like, "Man, you painted yours better than mine, and I'm the teacher." And that's when and then it just went on from there. Like my buddies used to always mess with me and be like, I used to get out of doing classwork, and I would do the art projects for like the plays for the school. You know how you had to do like the decorations and all that. They would make me do that, and she'll give me like a A or something. I ain't had to do like a paper or something like that. So they'd be like, oh, Buzz could just draw his way through the classroom. And the results wasn't really that good because I'm like, well, I'm going to summer school. So you ain't do no damn work. That's why you have to make it up. I'm like, thanks. But summer school stopped at 6th grade. After that, it was no more summer school.
So from getting all those yeses all the time at a young age and getting that confidence to be an artist, to go out into the art world as an adult and get a few no's, was that discouraging, or did it just kind of fuel you and push you to go bigger and be better? And or like how did that process go? Because I know a lot of artists, sometimes we kind of get, you know, down and thrown off when, you know, we're so used to being told we're so good, and then we get around some other folks and they're like, nah, and you're just like, I know I'm great. Like, so what's going on? So what would you tell some artists that kind of get discouraged by the no's that they get?
I would tell the artist, based off my experience so far, you know, if you really like to do the work, you know, no outside influence should, you know, change your decision on like what it is you want to do with your art. So if somebody's telling you no and you give up, you really ain't want to do art. You were just experimenting to see what happened. And I said, but if someone told you no, you're like, man, this is my passion. I'm gonna make this work. Thanks for that no. That's just a stepping stone to the get me closer to the yes. So that's how I would look at it. Because, and also some of these galleries, you know, what used to piss me off was when you go into some of these galleries and places like that, they'll be like, so what school were you taught at? Who did you study under and whatever? I'd be like, I studied under the Lord, I guess, because he blessed me with the skill to do this. I didn't go like in an apprenticeship and studied under this master artist, and so they can validate me as an artist, you know. So sometimes they looked at that type of stuff, which kind of sways you to the side a little bit. But sometimes I guess that's the best thing to happen, because it just forced me to become that bulldog and do it my way.
Do you think that's why you're able to, you have such freedom of creation, is because you weren't in those institutions? I know we have quite a few self-taught artists, and some of them, like Sonia, she kind of really studied the grades and like kind of honed onto her skill. You had Jay, who was a self-taught artist and then went ahead and got into some academic background and kind of changed a bit of how his work moved, but essentially the same. So how do you think that did that push your creativity, or did it kind of like, was it difficult for you? Because I know you said that you had someone someone in your past that told you should really like focus on your craft and your gift and push it and really like push it and evolve it. So do you want to talk about that process?
So like that process there, like with developing and pushing the work, it's like I had some people, like you said, in my circle. Most of them were older clients of mine, and they damn 70s and 80s, who was like, Buzz, you know, they were taking me to like the galleries around the city, like, cause they knew people and so forth. So I'm looking around, looking at the work, and I'm like, okay, man, I know I can do this. It's just, you know, sometimes somebody got to slap you in the head a little bit and like, you know, make that happen. So it's like deep down, it's just within yourself. It's like what you want to do with it. If you just the art world is like, so I ain't gonna even say it's really saturated. Everybody got their own lane. So it's a lane for everybody, you know. It's a lane for everybody, and it's a pace that everyone's going to go to achieve whatever the goals they have set for themselves. So just got to run with it.
And your lane, you chose abstract expressionists. And like, what does that mean to you? Like,
well,
what?
I feel like as an abstract artist, like I had this guy I met who was a professor at the Corcoran Art Institute. So he taught there for 30 years. So obviously he knows something, I guess. But he saw my work. And, you know, he told me, he said, Buzz, man, you don't need no school, man. Because everybody could say, Buzz, go back to school and learn this and learn that. He said, man, what the students don't have is what you have, the natural ability to create. They need the fundamental principles, and then they develop over time their ability based off the principles they have. He said, your problem will be, you will have is that school probably wants you to draw or paint the way they want you to do it. And you're going to have a battle with that because you're too free as it is right now. So that's why I feel like that abstract part is where it kicks in, because with an abstract individual, no one follows rules. Every line is there for a reason. You know, even if it's outside the line, it was supposed to be outside the line. It made you pay attention to it. And then like the expressionist aspect is just, you know, the feeling behind it. And that feeling turns into an image. So that's pretty much it right there. Not too much, not too deep. I don't get too philosophical with it.
Yeah.
Just keep it kind of on the surface.
I feel that. I mean, it's art, you know, you just feeling it and you loving it. I love that. That's amazing. Sometimes I went to art school, so sometimes I had that struggle. I kind of get stuck in the art school way. It's like, oh, I learned this technique, but another professor told me that once you learn all the rules, you have the right to break them, and that's my favorite part, is breaking the rules.
Yeah, we don't follow rules.
Uh-uh.
A painting, I wrote that in there. I said, rules are to be followed. Now, scratched it all out, and I put not.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's see. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, let's talk about your kind of, you had a moment where you wrote a child's book
Yeah.
about exercising for kids called Jacob's ABC of Exercise. And
Somebody,
you were on the news.
hey, look at First 48. You've been doing your research, huh?
You know, I do like, I told you I like to learn. I like to know things. So
Doing it. We got a private eye in the mix.
so
Yeah.
how was that?
I did at the time when I did that children book. It was when Michelle Obama was doing the Let's Move initiative. And,
Okay.
So I sent a few books to the White House. I don't know if they ever got to her, but I did. I know I got a letter back from the White House saying, "Hey, we appreciate the books and blah blah blah." We'll, because with security and everything, they were like, we'll do our best to get them. So we just want to let you know we got them. Thanks for the gesture, blah blah blah. So at least they got them. So I can't get mad at them. And at the time, obesity with children was on the rise. That's why all these Let's Move. The NBA was doing the fit. NFL was doing the fit program, like Play 60, and all these other things were going on. But I really didn't find no books out there for kids, just teaching them the basic principles of physical fitness. So that's how I created Jacob off of like a client of mine. He was 95 years old. His name was Jacob. And he was kind of behind me, like, to push the book. So, and he kind of supported me behind the book too before he passed away. So I named it after him. So Jacob is really 95 years old, even though he's a kid on the book, like Benjamin Buttons.
Well, his spirit was a child, so that's what you embodied.
That's right.
Well, shout out to Jacob. We appreciate you.
And for anyone that's listening, the book is pretty much the A through Z, 26 activities. Each letter has an exercise that corresponds with the letter. And when the kids learn the activity, they learn the body part that goes with that letter. So also, I have a DVD, a cartoon of the book for the kids who can't focus. It's ADD. So they could pop a DVD in. Well, in today's world, it might stream. So so I got I have a DVD too. So
that's cool. Did we get it in Walmart?
Nah, Amazon.
Oh, even better. Okay, Amazon.
So if you're listening and everyone got these little youngins at home, give them something to do with Jacob.
Right. We in the house, you don't got nothing to do. Your kids are driving you crazy. Get this book, get this DVD, find a DVD player, plug it in.
Plug it in and go.
Let's get to it. We all got to move. I might get the book myself and do a little exercise. You know what I'm saying?
So you can spell your name out and be active at the same time.
Exactly. I don't know about that. I got too many E's and T's. They're going to have me doing like too much.
Yeah, you be able that, Jay. I ain't going to tell you the letters, but when you get the book, you see it.
So let's see.
I gotta check out the link to make sure on Amazon, make sure it's all up to par, but it's on there though.
Well, if y'all don't see the link, make sure you type in the book name and you'll be able to find it there, of course.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this fashion that you're going on. I love the bee. I so need a hat because you can't see, but I have a hat wall in front of me. So, and I love me some hats. I love me some hoodies. And
well, you're at the right place.
Huh?
I say you're talking to the right person.
You know what I'm saying? So when did you start getting into, were you always into fashion, or did it kind of like, come about with your artistry?
Like the one part of the fashion aspect, I was always tired of wearing everybody else's stuff. So I was like, let me create my own gear. We all wear something else promoting other people who don't even know us, don't really care about us anyway. So I'm like, let me promote something that at least I wear, that I'm proud about wearing, and that hopefully other people who look at what I have on reflect and understand where I'm coming from. So that's what made me, like the hoodies, I screen these myself. I do them myself. No, I buy the hoodies. as soon as someone wants one, and I create the art myself by hand. So like the hats and everything else is done through a company. But like far as the hoodies, I do those myself because these are kind of like exclusive. So hoodies online through
You like press it like?
yeah, screen printed. Yeah, I screen print them. So
Oh, I didn't know that. Hold up, T alert, T alert. I need some juice. Talk about that. Like for people who are trying to get into prints, I know there are a lot of artists that are like really, really trying to get into that like screen
okay,
printing thing. Like, can you go in depth about that?
okay. What happened was like I use YouTube. That's what I use.
YouTube University.
I saw this little 14-year-old doing it, and I'm like, hold on, he doing it.
I could do it too.
But like the hoodie I have on, you know, I screen it. You know, the colors are all screened. You know, two-tone. You see it, but you know, one thing with screening, when you do so many colors, it takes more work to clean them. Because that's why I like to do multiple of like if I don't like to just do one hoodie because it's just so much work for one. So, but you know, somebody pay for it, I'm gonna do it.
Of course.
But anyway, it's like with the hoodies. Believe me, I messed up a few of them. I'll talk about I messed them up. You know, I did them backwards. I burned the screen the wrong way. So that's just all a part of learning. You know, I use a heat gun, burn the hoodie all up, everything. You're like, but now I got it. It's like,
okay,
this piece of cake now.
They looking good now.
Yeah, but you know, that's the learning process of it. That's like with anything. That's just the learning that comes along, the trials and errors and tribulations. So
of course. Oh man, that's it. That's really exciting. Like that's so cool because that means that like your work and your brand and everything can kind of travel past this time. And I think that's like really important. You mentioned that too, that you really want to leave your mark. And you mentioned that earlier in the interview too. Like, why is that important? Like, what is your vision for the future? And what's your vision through your art for the future? Like, what do you want to leave on this earth?
well, you know, we come here and hopefully we leave and people don't forget about you. So I would like my art to be like, you know, timeless. So where, you know, when people look at it from, even if they look like this B logo here, you know, just when they see that, they'd be like, hey, I remember that guy way back in the day, Buzz, man, you know, he was doing it here, doing it there. And, you know, for it to just be like a staple. And like the future, you know, it's hard to like really tell what the future can be. But if we continue to press forward and keep doing what we like to do, the future gonna always be bright because we're gonna make sure we shine. So
Gems. You are dropping
we'll
gems.
make sure we shine. So that's it.
Okay, a few more questions and then we're gonna get into the people's questions. So like I said, you all, I see that you all are putting some questions in the comments. If you can hit that question button at the bottom of your screen and put your questions in there, I'll be able to answer those questions in just a moment, okay? I wanted to know if you had any galleries or programs that you wanted to work with. I see that you've worked with Washington Projects for the Arts and the Agora Gallery. Are there any other places that you'd like to have your work showcased or work with?
Well, I actually have like there's a lady named Marjorie Goldberg. Have you ever heard of Zenith Gallery in DC?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she got a lot of my pieces in her gallery. She sold a lot of my work. You know, Marjorie, she's about I think 70 years old, but she's been doing this art thing for about 40 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when I mention her name to other galleries or people in the art world, they'd be like, "Oh, you with Marjorie? She's a person you need to be with," because she kind of really connected in the city. She's always in the posts, always in the papers when it comes to art activism for African American artists all the time. So, if you talk to her, yeah, if you talk to her, you would have thought she was black till you saw her.
Hey, she's invited to the cookout.
Oh yeah, she definitely invited. You know, she down with the program.
Awesome.
And crazy as hell too, but it's cool.
I mean, aren't we all?
Yeah, we are. And she's an artist herself.
Nice.
She does sculpting.
Oh, Oh, I like her already.
I'm gonna try to get. I'm gonna try, with our league, tell people to come out and come visit her joint. At least just check it out. It's in
Okay.
16th Street. It's in the area Northwest. So
Okay. So y'all heard that, right? Check it out. What's it called again? So
Zenith
people can
Gallery,
know.
like the TV Zenith, the old TV, but it's called Zenith Gallery on 16th Street.
Y'all check it out on 16th Street. Now you got something to do this weekend.
Right. Check it out.
Oh, what about any places that you haven't? Are there any like ideal dream galleries or places that you want to manifest? Like maybe, I don't know if you've been to Art Basel or the Armory, or do you have any shows or anything you want to manifest and put
Yeah.
out in the universe?
One I want to do. I want to do that one, definitely.
The Armory?
No, Art Basel.
Oh, yeah.
I want to do that, definitely. And like you said, man, before I leave this earth, if I can have a piece in that African American museum, that'd be a staple right there. So I don't care if it's just a small piece on the door.
Hey, it's in there. That's all that matters.
And maybe like, of course, like in New York, like the Museum of Modern Art, get up in there, the major places like that, or even to eventually, I ain't really too much of a plane traveling individual, but to fly over, like to like Italy, Spain, and meet, the galleries you look at on TV, and of course my guy Basquiat been in all of them, so I got
you just trying to follow in his footsteps.
Yeah, I got footsteps to follow,
That's amazing. All right, let's do one more, and then we're gonna go ahead and get into these questions with the folks, and then we're gonna get into verses. What do you see as your role in the DMV League? How do you feel about it? Are you excited for the future it holds? And what do you plan on doing with it? And with all the artists and everything like that, how do you feel?
I think that's the purpose of me joining the DMV League, because I always said I wanted to find an art home. So the DMV League is that art home, and collaborating with a lot of the artists and interacting, and artists, just getting a different perspective with art from other people and vibing. Just having a place, even if I'm not painting, I could be there just chilling, kicking it, vibing, probably got a little sketch pad, working on something, and just being in that atmosphere and just feeling energy. It sparked me to just start creating something on the spot, but also having a platform to where we as artists have a home to where if we want to do things, we don't have to keep begging nobody. We got our own home. We could do our own shows, own sip and paint, do whatever we want on our property, and nobody can't tell us nothing. If we're doing our thing, being respectful of the neighborhood and so forth. But it's just good to have somewhere we have some freedom to do that.
Yep.
Hey, y'all, we could do something here, but we got to shut it down at a certain time and all this stuff. No, we don't have to do that at our spot. So, and I think my part, being a part of the league, is me as an artist, to promote the league too. Even though I'm doing my own thing, I always shout the DMV League. They'd be like, "Are you part of any art organizations?" I'd be like, "Yeah, the best one."
Period.
Yeah, we got to get some shirts that say DMV League, man. Bring some shirts for the team.
You know what? It's on the work, so it's on the way. Don't worry. So
I already know.
Stay tuned. All right, let's get into these questions from the folks. If y'all see me squinting, it's just my contacts. I can't see. God didn't give me the talent of 20/20 vision. So y'all bless my heart. So we have from Donata. Okay, Donata June. She says, do you see your craft, art, and or clothing moving outside of the DMV area? Oh, that's a good one.
Oh, yeah, I think so. So far, I felt like I got friends in New York, Philly, and even down in Florida who purchase my gear. So, it's just like planting seeds. That's all. You got to reap the benefits of the harvest to come. So I have my children book made it to China. So I had some friends out in China who ordered it. So I feel like the clothing line aspect of it, I haven't really got on my marketing, to really push it. It's just been word of mouth. But in March, I done some shoes. You know that? Nefertiti?
You do shoes?
You ain't see my shoes?
No,
Yeah,
I missed that.
you ain't see my shoes, girl. You ain't see it on the Instagram page. See, that's why I said I gotta do my marketing right, because you ain't see my shoes.
I did not see that. I saw everything but the
Yeah,
shoes.
I gotta pay. I just created these shoes. I'm gonna get a pair right now. Hold on.
Oh, sneak peek.
Come on, girl. You messing up. Let me get a pair. I got these joints here. Hold up. But the other ones are on. It's dark in the basement. You know, the black hole down in the joint.
It's okay.
Yeah. So, and I did a live one time to show the shoes. So this is one of the designs here.
Ooh, I like those.
This is one of my graffiti designs. So
Oh, I
I
love
another
those.
pair and two low top pair, and
Ooh.
it's on the Buzz Arts page.
I must have
Like they
I
say
must
on
have
Insta, like
overlooked it.
they say on the internet in the bio.
I must have overlooked it looking at the paintings.
Right, that's probably what it was. That is,
Those are really nice. Y'all go check those out. Y'all get some shoes.
yeah.
Definitely got to do that.
How you research the children book and not the shoe?
Look,
So you
we
had
not gonna talk about that.
too much going on, huh?
You know, it's busy over here.
Yeah, I understand. No, I appreciate it though.
Mm-hmm. We got one smile underscore creation says talk about the negotiations with galleries. I think we
Um,
talked a little bit about that.
Pretty much like with the gallery. The gallery, of course. One thing with the galleries, they on that 50% commission. So whatever you price your work, they get in half. So you better price your work where you feel comfortable with your take. So, and like the negotiation basically like a contract, like with a Gore gallery, they I contract with them for a year. And after that, that's it. So they had like a few shows going on, and they put you on they were marketing your work on their pages through email blasts with like over 200,000 plus followers who follow this gallery. So they always kept flooding you in their media. So and that's how they sold my work. So they sold a painting I had up there. It was called I don't even remember the name of it, but I know what it looked like.
It's all right.
Yeah, I don't even remember the name. I probably can't remember the name because I was sipping some damn Hennessy.
All right, let's see. We got a few questions in the comments section. So let's
Because I can't see them.
Ricky says, where/who does your inspiration come from?
Oh, the creativity aspect. I think like I said, the foundation of that got me going was Basquiat. I was watching his documentaries, The Radiant Child, and that one documentary. Basquiat didn't care about no damn body, so he painted and did what he wanted to do. You know his story, so I don't need to have to go detail in it, but
yeah.
But just being just the freedom aspect, like not following no rules, like we talked about earlier, and then also like just having the inspiration to have your own. I feel good like knowing like damn, when I wear this hat, it's me. This logo is me, and it starts conversation everywhere I go because everybody like, what team is that? I'll be like, it's my team. They be like, oh, team. I'll be like, pretty much. I'm the only player. I'm the MVP.
I love that.
Right.
You have this good energy, this glow about you. Every time you talk about like your work and it moving forward, it's so inspiring. It's so good.
I'm quick.
Let's see. We have Blue Robin CMB.
Oh, what's up, Blue? What up, Blue?
They said, "What's your dream collab?" Ooh, that's a good one.
Oh, dream collab.
Like artist or
me?
You said me and you?
Yeah, me and myself.
Yeah.
No, but a dream collab, like if Basquiat was alive, that would have been it.
Hello?
That would have been it. It's like a lot of artists I really like, The one artist who's the mysterious one, like Banksy, just to catch it, because no one knows him, don't know nothing about him, and just to And in a weird way, I would like to do something with like Mr. Brainwash, because I think he's something that's really like I don't really think he's a real artist, but I think just being in his energy is crazy. So something like that, but something like kind of like left field. It wouldn't even be nobody who you'd be like, oh, I like to collab with this guy because we kind of relate. That'd be somebody totally odd.
Somebody that's gonna kind of challenge you a bit.
Yeah, and like push the envelope, like might tear the envelope, but something like that. So it'd be something like left field. It wouldn't be nobody real normal.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. We have let's see. I think we can do like maybe 2 more. We have Saki12. Says, did you have more success hosting your own shows or going through a gallery?
I think I had more hosting my own because I had the control. I had the control. I was PRing it more. I think with the gallery, they ain't have that many pieces. So, they would have like 3 pieces. Well, Zenith got more than 3, but the galleries in New York will only take like 3 because they have multiple artists in there too. So I think the individual show, me hosting my own, was more successful. I had more to control. And then I didn't have to share no profit. So that's it.
Awesome. All right. What are anybody else have any final questions? Let me just do one more scroll through, make sure I kind of got to everybody. Yeah, that looks like I've got majority of the questions. Oh wait, it looks like we might have 2 more came in. Okay, let's see if we can get these 2 in. We have another one from we have one from Jay. He says, are you a full-time artist? If so, how long have you been full-time?
Nah, I ain't no full-time artist. I got a 9 to 5. That's how I'm able to pay for all the art supplies.
Shout out to the 9 to 5.
I'm not a full-time artist, but the goal is to, with any artist, is to become that full-time. It's just I got to make sure I time it right. So, but right now, I have a lot of freedom to do art and work. So it's not like work is interfering with my art. I got freedom to do it. So I got a lot of flexibility and freedom, which is a blessing that to have. So.
Awesome. That's great. All right. We got one more. Another one from OneSmile_creations. When you sell your work, do you sell the copyrights?
When I sell the work, that's a good question. Yeah, I sell the work, but I think in a certificate I mentioned something about copyrights. When I give them a certificate, that information I think is mentioned in there, because even though that person has the original painting, I let them know like, hey, I still have prints of that work, or I will make prints of that work or T-shirts from that work because it's a hot design. I'm not gonna just limit it to them. So at least they ahead of time, but they got the original, so they don't really. Most time they don't really care. So.
All right, awesome. And one more question. What's one more thing you'd like to say to artists, art lovers, art buyers, before we get to the verses portion of this?
Well, that must be Ricky talking about, can I get a free hoodie? Yeah, I got it back. That's very abstract.
The one that you made a few mistakes on.
Right, that's like printed backwards and everything. What was the question? No.
Did you have any last words for the folks?
Well, like I said, in March, I'm going to really try and do a push to promote the shoes that I got coming out. They are out now, but really put a marketing plan together to promote the shoes, the website, really promote all the things I have going, because it's so funny. Like you mentioned the book, and people would be like, he did a book. I did that book from 2011. So people still don't even know. But so that's my fault because I'm not pushing how I should. So that's how we reflect, look in the mirror, look at ourselves and say, hey, it's on me. But other than that, I appreciate the people that listen and, tuned in. And this is a great thing. Thank you, Neff, for put me on with this, and I guess I don't know what the verse is. We about to bust a freestyle.
Okay, so verses is a quick little 30 seconds where you answer some questions based off of the studies and things that I've had, and you kind of have to pick one.
Oh, okay.
So let me get the
We'll
the timer started really fast. So you have 30 seconds to, sorry, I'm writing one more. 30 seconds to answer each one, and then we can call it a wrap. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So graffiti versus canvas.
I'm going with canvas.
Okay, abstract versus portraiture.
Abstract all day.
Freeform versus geometric shapes.
Free.
Okay, painting only versus multi-mediums.
I like multimedia.
Oh gosh, you finished that in like you had 10 seconds to spare. All right, well, thank you. And you want to tell everybody where they can find your shoes so we can get those off of you and get that out there in the world.
That's
and
right.
any of your other stuff.
Pretty much like the Instagram has like under the bio with the links to the shoes. Both of the pages that I have, the Buzz Arts Fashion and the Busquiat page. So they both has the information on there. And like I said, I have a Facebook that I'm gonna put this campaign together and really like push this and push it so everybody knows. So the whole city be rocking these shoes by the springtime. You know, weather about to get warm, so y'all gonna be fresh. They'll be like, damn, where the hell y'all get those at? Over there, get them right there, they're exclusive. So
well, look, I want me a pair because I love me some shoes.
Right, and the Shopify site is where you can get some of the other hoodies that I have. It's just like the B logo with the Busquiat written on the sleeve. But the hoodie that I wear, if anyone wants one of the hoodies that I have on, you just DM me, tell me your size and what color. I'll look to see if it's available. Then when I hit you back with a Cash App, that's how you know it's available. And when I get the Cash App, I'll create the hoodie and then, you know, ship it to you through like UPS.
All righty. Well, thank you so much for coming on to Art Talk Tuesday and talking with me. It was such a great time. We had fun. You're great energy. I love your story and your background. And I will see you at HQ.
That's right. You know it. I love them.
All righty. Take care.
All right.
All right, well, we enjoyed ourselves here on Art Talk Tuesday for another episode. It was a great one. We want to thank Buzz again for coming out and talking to us. Tune in next week when we get into another artist. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. If you didn't catch it here, don't worry. We're going to be posting it on our Instagram page so you can watch it fully again. Also, if you have any other questions that you didn't get yours answered, you can DM the DMV League page or go ahead and DM Buzz on his own page. And if you can't find it on Instagram or you just don't really do the Instagram thing and maybe your grandma wants to watch it or your aunt wants to watch it and they're not Instagram people, don't worry. We're going to have these on our YouTube, which is the DMV League Art YouTube account. So go there, subscribe, and you'll be able to see so much more of us. We got so much more coming forward, and we'll catch you on another Art Talk next Tuesday. It's your girl, Indigo Child, coming at you as the hostess with the mostest. Shout out to Kamiko. And yeah, peace, love, and lockeries. I'll see you all next Tuesday.